three men who became president of the United States played key roles in the development of Tennessee. James Polk, Andrew Johnson, and Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson was the first president who had been born in a log cabin. Other presidents before him had come from well-to-do families. Jackson, who grew up on the frontier of the Carolinas, was an orphan at 14. He later moved to Tennessee where he became a successful lawyer. He became famous as an Indian fighter and as a general in the War of 1812. He received the nickname Old Hickory by his toughness. Born in 1836 near Rogersville, Tennessee, was Davy Crockett, who was a colorful scout and a frontiersman. He was famous for his tall tales and funny stories. The earliest known people in what is now Tennessee were Indians. They made many contributions that are still evident today. They introduced crops of corn, squash, and pumpkins. Even our language bears evidence of our Indian heritage. They shared herbs of knowledge. They shared their knowledge of plants, of native plants and herbs used for medicine. Chattanooga, Memphis, the Quacky Valley, and Chilhowie are good examples. The Indians had a dance for just about everything: war, potlatches, religious ceremonies, and even rain. 1861. People from Tennessee were divided in their sympathies between the North and the South. But about 2 months after the Civil War broke out, 2/3 of the people from Tennessee voted to join the Confederacy. Tennessee was the last state to secede from the Union. Because so much of the Civil War was fought in Tennessee, much of the state was left in ruins. Times were very hard for its people, but they soon began to build back. It was just as important to them as it is to us today that we do not have to spend all of our time working. There needed also to be times for fun. One of the ways they entertained themselves was by jumping the canes. Tennessee is known for its storytellers. What better way of entertaining the children than by telling stories?
Today, children, I'm going to tell you a story that my grandfather told me. Long and long ago, there was a seven-headed giant named Jalbunchen. He was always looking for something to put in his 7 mouths to fill his huge stomach with. But one day, he beckoned over a little bee and said, "Bee, I've got a task for you. Go and find every creature on the earth and come back and tell me which creature has the sweetest flesh." So the bee went off over the hills and through the woods until he came to a farm. At first he bit a dog, but he did not like the taste. And then he bit a cat, but she was not sweet to taste either. And then he bit a horse. The horse liked it. And then he could get a pig. But it was better, but not good enough for Dale Badges. So he left the farm and went over the hills and through the woods till he came to a forest. And he bit a hare. The hare had a strange taste. And then he bit a deer. The deer had a weird taste. And then finally he bit a man. And he went, "Oh, man is sweetest, man is sweetest." When the man heard this, he fell before the bee and said, "Please don't go singing your song to Dale Badger. If you do, he'll kill us all." But the bee didn't think anything of it. So he went over the hills and through the woods till he found Dale Badger. And Dale Badger said, "Well, which creature has the sweetest flesh?" And Dale Badger said, and the bee said, whenever he was opening his mouth to say, "Man is sweetest," he couldn't say anything else. And after this very day, the bee can't say anything else. Just buzz, buzz, buzz.
Saturday night. Everyone is working hard all week. Now it's time to let your hair down and go square dancing. the Regiment Medal of Honor for an outstanding deed during World War I. He had grown up on a mountain farm in Tennessee and developed amazing marksmanship with his pistol and rifle during his boyhood. His name was Alvin Colin York, but better known as Sergeant York. Folks in Tennessee were like other folks in the U.S. They were into dancing the boogie-woogie. Well, looky here. Here comes one of the acts now.
Allow you die. One wish to find the other